Good evening and welcome to the Forsgren City Board of Directors meeting this August the 4th of 2026. These meetings are being televised live for the benefit of our residents who can't be with us in person. And with that, I'm going to ask Director Rigo to do the invocation and Director Good to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Mayor. Please join me in a word of prayer. Lord, we come tonight grateful, humble, and honored for the opportunity to serve. All of us here tonight and watching online care about this community, and we strive to put our best foot forward, serving it and making decisions for the future of this wonderful place. We thank you again for this opportunity and for the many blessings you continue to bestow upon our community. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Madam Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Directors Rigo,
Here.
Good,
Here.
Kemp,
Here.
George Katsavas,
Here.
Christina Katsavas, Settle,
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Thank you very much. This time I'll ask if there's any presentation by a board member of any item or business not already on the agenda. Okay, seeing none, we'll ask for approval of the July 21st, 2026 regular meeting and the July 30th, 2026 special meeting.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. This time, we will go to the first item on the agenda.
The first item tonight is an ordinance rezoning properties on North 18th and North 19th Streets and amending an existing planning zoning district. Deputy Director of Planning and Zoning, Tyler Miller, will address this item.
Thank you, Mr. Dingman and Board. On July 14th, Planning Commission held a public hearing to consider the subject master land use plan amendment and rezoning applications. The three sites are located on North 18th Street, North 19th Street, between North E and North G Street. The proposed master land use plan amendment to mixed-use residential and the planned zoning district application facilitates the development of a new transitional dwelling for Harbor House at 604 North 18th Street. Approval also allows all four of the Harbor House properties within the vicinity to have consistent zoning. A neighborhood meeting was held on June 22nd on site. 10 neighboring property owners attended the meeting. The neighbors had questions about the intent, timeline, and number of tenants within the proposed dwelling. At the Planning Commission meeting, Chase and Garrett was present to represent these applications. 2 neighboring property owners were present with concerns regarding increased traffic and parking in number of tenants. The Planning Commission, The Planning Commission voted 7 in favor and 0 opposed to recommend approval to the board.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments?
We have 2, Chase and Garrett and Carl Norris, only to answer questions.
Okay, thank you for being here, gentlemen. This time we'll entertain a motion to adopt the ordinance with suspension of the rules.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance amending the master land use plan map and rezoning identified property and amending the zoning map. And this is for properties located at 522 and 604 North 18th Street and 605 and 615 North 19th Street.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the board? Director Neil Martin.
Yeah, I think this is a really attractive design. So good work by you guys from the Harbor House. Transitional housing, I think that's important for us as we look at folks that are experiencing homelessness. Transitional housing, I think, is a great model to go. I know that Next Step is doing this. Obviously, Harbor House is as well. So I'm looking forward to voting for this.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you would call the roll.
Directors Rigo,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
This time, need a motion to adopt the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Directors Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rigo.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Item number 2.
Item 2 is an ordinance amending the 2026 budget and authorizing the appropriation of donated funds for the purchase of fire department equipment. Chief Financial Officer Andy Richards will address this item.
So this is a donation from Harps and Tin Box Food Stores. I think there was a fundraising campaign to raise funds for local public agencies or public safety agencies. Fort Smith Fire Department received $5,568. This ordinance is to appropriate the money so they can spend it on small equipment that's going to be used for the Swift Water Rescue Team. And so this will be, we'll collect the donation in the general fund and spend the funds out of the fire department's budget in the general fund.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any citizens' comments, Madam Clerk?
None indicating.
Okay, we need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? Director Neil Martin.
Really cool thing about Tin Box and Harps and the citizens of Fort Smith giving for this. So thank you, guys.
Again,
I agree with that. Very good.
again, thanks to Tin Box for supporting our team. Any other comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Directors Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rigo.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Number 3.
Item 3 is a resolution authorizing change order number 3 with Forsgren in the amount of $250,336.19 related to work on project 17-12-C1. This change order is due to an increase in scope of the project related to more significant sewer line and manhole deterioration than was expected when the project was designed. City project engineer Tyler Eldridge is here this evening to address specific questions the board may have on this project.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments?
None indicating.
Okay, we need a motion to adopt a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. This time we'll entertain comments from the board. Are there any? Director Neil Martin.
Yeah, I hate to keep asking questions here, but so I sent an email earlier today. I don't know if I've gotten a response yet, but they say this is 7% over budget, but when you look at page 64, it talks about certain overruns and then underruns, which doesn't add up to 7% over. Am I on the right page, or am I understanding it correctly?
The total is 7% over the overruns minus the underruns.
Is it because the change orders are associated with it?
Because of change orders and some pipe remediation measures were switched from, say, open cut to CIPP.
Okay.
So,
So it's not a, it was exactly this and we've had overruns. There's been some change orders added.
Correct.
And that's gone above.
Yes, sir.
The one thing I want the board to know, this is the project that we had a bidder for significantly less than this, about $4.5 million was the bidder. We got a recommendation to move forward with that bidder. Obviously it wouldn't have gotten, it was way under. And so I appreciate Forsgren and the work that they've done, but that was obviously we want to go under, but there's no way we would have gotten to that 4.5 million. And it's 8 million, something like that. I can't remember, 8.2 million. But I think that's interesting. I asked a question of Mr. Dingman today about the consulting engineer on that. And I just think it's something we need to be mindful of and aware of.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the board? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Directors George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rigo.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Kemp.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Number 4.
Item 4 is a resolution accepting as complete and authorizing final payment to Forsgren in the amount of $507,657.44 on project 17-12-C1. Again, Mr. Eldridge can address any specific questions.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any citizens' comments on that?
None indicating.
Need a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Please call the roll.
Director Settle,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Rico,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Number 5,
Item 5 is a resolution accepting the bid and authorizing a contract with Crawford Construction Company for consent decree remedial measures, project 17-13-C2, in the amount of $7,581,600. This project is Phase 2 of work originally bid as one project presented in November 2025, which resulted in rejection of bids, division of the project into phases, and rebidding the work. The work for Phase 1 was approved by the board in May. Both phases bid separately resulted in an overall savings of the construction cost of approximately $3.3 million. Mr. Eldridge or I will address any specific questions.
okay, thank you. Are there any citizens' comments?
Yes, Mr. Larry Yancey is here to answer questions, but we also have Levon Morton.
Okay.
And I'll be brief. This is some really good, very good work by the board. This is one I pointed out myself at when I had a chance to speak in that meeting in November, when there were so many contracts presented for the consent decree because the bonds had been sold just the previous week. And to the city's credit, they had the contracts ready to go so the construction could get started. This one stood out because it was $6 million over the engineering estimate. I recommended that it be tabled. The board did the right thing and said, we're going to table it, and you saved $3 million. So thank you for that. These are difficult contracts, I will say. And this is a little off the direct subject, but they're doing consent decree work on the street that I live on, Riviera Drive. And they're going up and down hills, through yards, back in the woods behind Mercy. It's just very complex. Sometimes they can't even find the manhole they're supposed to replace. So it's hard work for these contractors, but the city board did a very good job on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, Madam Clerk?
That's all indicated.
Okay, this time I entertain a motion to adopt a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Board comments? Okay. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Directors Martin,
Yes.
Rico,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Go to the next item, number 6.
Item 6 is a resolution authorizing an agreement with Hawkins-Weir Engineers in the amount of $627,800 for engineering services associated with the construction project just approved, project number 17-13-C2. Mr. Eldridge can address any specific questions.
Okay, thank you. Are there any citizens' comments on this item?
Mr. Larry Yancey is here to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. This time we'll entertain a motion to adopt a resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? Director
Well,
Bill?
this is very similar to what Levon Morton just said. This one was tabled on that same night, and we're splitting this up into two. I anticipate savings here as well. So this is good. This is good work by the board.
Any other comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Directors Rigo,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Number 7.
Item 7 is a resolution accepting the bid and authorizing a construction contract with Steep Creek LLC in the amount of $2,976,486.06 for construction of consent decree remedial measures project number 19-19-C1. This project is Phase 1 of work originally bid as one project presented in November 2025, which resulted in rejection of bids, division of the project into phases, and rebidding the work. The remaining phases of this project are in process and will be presented at a later date. The bid for the proposed work is under the engineer's estimate for this phase of the project. Mr. Eldridge can address any specific
Okay,
questions.
thank you much. Are there any citizens' comments?
Mr. Larry Yancey is here to answer questions, but we also have Levon Morton.
Okay. Devon, you recognize.
And this was another one where the engineering estimate was a lot less than the contract that was submitted. And the board again elected to table that. I spoke on this one as well. This one, you don't know the savings yet. This Steep Creek, I think to me, is a new contractor. I hope their bid turns out to be accurate, but it looks like, again, the board has saved money. And by every dollar you save, the bond money is stretched further and you're able to do more work on this very difficult project. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Any other comments, Madam Clerk, from citizens?
No, that's all
Okay.
indicated.
Entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? Please call the roll.
Directors Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rego. It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Item number 7 has, number 8, I'm sorry, item number 8 has been withdrawn. So we will go to item number 9.
Item 9 is a resolution amending resolution number R-133-26, updating the name for one of the property owners from whom we seek easement related to consent decree remedial measures project number 25-12. Mr. Eldridge or I will stand for questions.
Okay, thank you much. Citizens' comments, Madam Clerk?
None indicating.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Directors Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rego.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Item 10,
Item 10 is a resolution amending resolution number R-133-26 and authorizing acquisition of a sewer utility easement related to consent decree remedial measures project number 25-12. Mr. Eldridge or I will stand for questions.
okay, thank you. Citizens' comments, Madam Clerk?
None indicating.
Okay, need a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? We are really getting that consent decree work underway and running.
That's right.
Yep, good work, board. If there are no comments from the board, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Directors George Katsavas.
Yes.
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rego.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Kemp.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
Number 11,
Item 11 is a resolution authorizing acquisition of a sewer utility easement related to consent decree remedial measures project number 25-12. We will stand for questions.
thank you. Are there any citizens' comments, Madam Clerk?
None indicating.
Motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Comments from the board? Please call the roll.
Director Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Rego.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Kemp.
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
It's approved, 6 in favor and 0 opposed.
This time we'll go to the consent agenda. Mr. Dingman?
There are 10 items on tonight's consent agenda. We have a resolution authorizing and directing initiation of the process to sell city-owned property at 715 Rogers Avenue, also known as the city-owned parking garage. We have a resolution authorizing and directing initiation of the process to sell city-owned property at 8200 Highway 71 South, also known as the Crane Kia property. We have a resolution authorizing application to the Water and Sewer Treatment Facilities Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Department of Agriculture for the Lake Fort Smith Treatment Plant Finished Water Pump Replacement Project. We have a resolution authorizing application to the Water and Sewer Treatment Facilities Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Department of Agriculture for the Lee Creek Water Treatment Plant Filter Media Replacement Project. We have a resolution authorizing application to the Water and Sewer Treatment Facilities Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Department of Agriculture for the Mazard Water Reclamation Facility Biosolids Dewatering System Project as revised. We have a resolution authorizing application to the Water and Sewer Treatment Facilities Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Department of Agriculture for the Fourth and I Lift Station Project. A resolution authorizing application to the Community Assistance Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Economic Development Commission related to proposed improvements at the Fort Smith Regional Airport. We have a resolution authorizing application to the Community Assistance Grant Program administered by the Arkansas Economic Development Commission related to programming for Miss Laura's Museum. We have a resolution authorizing application to the FY26 Model Cities Initiative Grant Program administered by the United States Department of Justice, and a resolution authorizing a professional services agreement with MAHG Architecture in the amount of $145,520 related to the Creekmore Park Pool Pump House renovation project.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, is there any citizen comments on any of the items?
Yes, we have some on A, B, H, and I. The first being Levon Morton on 12A.
Okay.
The only thing I have to say on 12A is I know there's some exchange between the federal government or maybe the state government and the city, or maybe the federal government on parking in the garage versus parking on a lot that's across the street from City Hall. Any buyer, that's going to have to be worked out and made really clear. And I don't even know if there's a written arrangement on that, but that's all going to be cleared up because right now there's no money paid back and forth on that, I don't believe. And that's going to really complicate the sale. So some of that's got to be ironed out before you'll ever get a sale done. I don't object to the sale. I'll be surprised if anybody buys it. But there's just some details that need to be worked out. Where the people from the city who park in that lot across the street, where are they going to park? I know you have more parking behind the building now than you used to, but I don't know how the numbers work out. None of it is presented in here. So I just would bring that up. I don't object to selling it as someone who lives here. I know I remember that elevator being extremely expensive to repair, but actually it's not really available to the public very much. So yeah, it really doesn't accomplish much for the city. Anyway, those are my comments. Just some lack of clarity in some of these areas. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else to speak on item A?
No, next we go to 12B, which would be Levon Morton.
Sorry, I didn't think about that. It was the next one. Okay, this is on the sale of the Crane Kia property. And, I lived in that area of the city for a long time, and I'd say it's a safe area. But when you look at the city and you look at the growth, I think there does need to be consideration on the precinct question for that area of the city, because it's a long way from downtown to Chaffee and a long way out to the very south part of Fort Smith. And I think eventually you'll need a precinct. And in terms of precinct and training, maybe this is not the architectural design that you need, but I think it's unlikely there'll ever be a time that will be less expensive than sometime in the next year or so, a year or two, to do this if you're ever going to do it. And I will also point out that if you look at the financial statements that were provided to the city directors that I asked for each time, for the year so far, the first 6 months, for the police department, their spending was down $2,300,000 compared to last year. Now, some of that's the 8 officers that were that were removed from the force. They were empty positions that weren't replaced. But even if you take half the budget and compare it to what money was spent, they're $1.3 million ahead, and that's a serious amount of money the police department has saved. And really, that goes through all the other departments. The general fund really had a solid year, and the police department's part of that. Really very controlled spending all over. And Mr. Richards will tell you at some point later, the utility results were much better than what show in here because of the timing of debt payments. Much better. So thank you.
And I think we'll be reviewing those numbers next week. So the public will be able to see what Mr. Morton's talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Next for 12B is Shane McKinney.
Hello, everybody. So I wanted to kind of show some support for the idea of using a building that already exists and is in a less than stellar to turn into something that's good in a police force. That we do need something on that side of town. I'm not opposed to that. I don't think it's necessary for us to have main frontage. I think there's probably a lot of value on this property commercially. When you look at a police precinct, I think something that's maybe a little bit off the main area might be a way to do this on a budget later. But I would encourage before we decide, like, I'm totally okay with the sale, but before we reconsider what we're going to buy or what we're going to do for the police in the future, kind of like Levon Morton had to say here, we consider what options would actually be less expensive than this. Bringing that money into the budget, recovering that money from a sale is probably going to take a long time anyway. When it does come in, we're probably going to need to be already thinking about where this goes, or it's just going to get spent somewhere else or used somewhere else potentially. But I agree, the growth on that side of town, and when we looked at the heat map of where the crimes were happening, there's pretty significant crime on the south side of Fort Smith. I know there's the kind of the image publicly that there's not, but there was some very significant crime in that area. And when you think about the extra expense of police going back and forth and all that, that's definitely things to consider. So I'm not against having a south side police precinct. I don't think it needs to be on Main Road. And before we make a next or additional purchase of a facility, I love the idea of retrofitting some of the old buildings. Perhaps there's some on 31st Street between Phoenix and Zero, some of those areas that way we could look at. But I think looking for something that's older and dilapidated, I think that's a great idea. I don't want this to cause we're not going to look at that in the future, if that makes sense.
Then next on 12I, be Shane McKinney.
Pulled a Levon Morton there. Okay. So it was actually, I think, was it H that I was talking to? So I wanted to talk about Miss Laura's. I think Miss Laura's is amazing, and anything that we can do to help. I truly think that's one of the coolest tourist attractions we have in Fort Smith, and I've talked about it several times. When people come and stay at my properties and they talk about the places they saw, anybody that goes to Miss Laura's will always talk about that very fondly. And I almost never hear anything about the Marshall's Museum or several other more expensive tourist attractions. So I feel like the bang we get for our buck there is just about second to none. I often talk about when we're thinking about a city or when we're thinking about anything that we need to market, what are the things that you can't get somewhere else? What are the experiences you can't have somewhere else? And there's lots of historic sites. There's lots of museums for lots of different types of subjects, but there are not very many brothel museums in the United States. And to have that as a tourist item and to have that history and the history for the women of our community and the sacrifices they made, I think that's a great testament to the people of our community and to bring people in. So I'm all for that.
And for 12I, last we have Dan Williams.
Good evening, Board. I would like to speak to this, particularly regarding this Model City Initiative grant program. And my concern is there's a lot of information out about flock cameras and the safety, and just not hearing really what our policy is and knowing where our stance is in this particular city. I'm wondering if this grant has a timing to it, if it has to be filed now, or if this could be pulled off and put on a study session to kind of look at maybe a little bit about our data retention, how long we're keeping the data already on the flock cameras that we have. And if it's over 30 days, who has access to it? Is federal government or out-of-state entities able to log into that? There's some things that are really going on, not just here in this community, but throughout. And I believe that we need some more information, and this grant could potentially be, I'm not saying that's what it's going towards or buying, but it's definitely in that grant that it can be used that way.
This is for radios and radio equipment.
Okay.
Yeah, and to your point about flock cameras, I know that's something that's important to a lot of people. That is on our internal audit plan.
Okay.
For 2026.
Very good.
So that's something that we had that's kind of carried over. So that's on there.
So
like
this
usage,
is
all those kinds of things.
This is for the radio for the new 911
Yeah,
center. Okay.
correct.
I wasn't sure. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
That is all for citizen comment.
Okay, thank you very much. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to adopt all consent agenda items with item 12E as revised.
So moved with item 12B as revised.
Second.
Thank you.
I just have a question on B, Mayor.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. And then we'll go to Director Rigo.
Okay, I have a question, Tim.
Yeah, just for administration, if they can follow up. I know when we talked about the Crankia property, I've had residents reach out to me about the condition of the backside of that property and how it butts up to their property and it's kind of unkept. And there was some communication with OG&E in May where they were talking about 24 days going out there and cleaning up the easement. Of course, it's July. So they're, now it's August, and sorry. And I think that there's people wondering if we can have administration look back at following up on the easement being cleaned up and, some of the condition of that property overall being tuned up. Thank you.
Director Rigo.
Thanks, Mayor. I just wanted to point out or state that with 12A and 12B, if the process generates some interested parties for purchase, that we just need to be very thoughtful about all the particulars of the purchases, particularly as was brought up about item A, especially the parking garage, some of the agreements that are in force, looking out for city employees and where they park and things like that. So certainly we can test the market and see what's out there. But, if or when offers do come forward, let's be thoughtful about these.
Okay, thank you. Director Casavage.
On item B, I think we should strongly consider auctioning that property. I think that may be the best way to get the best interest in it. Has that been a consideration by administration?
We have not explored any avenues yet, but we will certainly explore all avenues and get an idea of what our best course of action might be to achieve the best price.
Okay, thank you.
Director George Casavage.
Jeff, on the downtown garage and the Crankia building, and then plus we have the 15 acres out on Mazard, correct?
Yes, I think it's 18.
Cabanas
I think
property
it's
we
18
bought.
acres, but yeah, I think that's right, yes.
And then we have several other empty vacant buildings, right?
A few, yes.
So let me ask you this, why can't we just bundle everything and just sell it at one whack?
You got somebody that kind of dollars?
Yeah?
You do?
Yeah, well, yeah, I won't
Well,
be asking for
let's make an appointment and we'll talk with them.
Yeah, we'll sell them all together.
And on the Crankia building, let's sell it, but I want that money that we get from it put into an escrow account earmarked for the police department to go towards their next precinct.
Well, that's possible, but about a third of that purchase price was paid for by other.
Well, I'm sure it was. Carl negotiated that, correct?
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean the money. I mean, the money still came. Some of the money came from the utility funds and solid waste fund and such. They would go back proportionally, but the general fund portion could
How much
certainly
is
be
it?
earmarked. I mean, it was 2.8 million altogether.
Yeah.
About a third of it was paid. About 2/3 of it was paid by the general fund,
So that money would go back to the general fund.
and we could earmark that
You know,
specifically for a project.
Because if we didn't earmark it, it's going to disappear like everything else. So, yeah, that's my concern, Jeff. That's all.
Understood.
Thank you. Director Neil Martin.
Yeah, with the parking garage, I didn't think it'd move this fast. So I appreciate the city administration.
Really, this is just permission to start the
This is
process.
just-
So
right,
it's
right.
not moving fast.
Right. No, well, just
Yes.
to get here. I mean, some people have reached out to me and asked questions about, city, where they can park, all that kind of stuff. I want to be sensitive to those needs, but I do understand we're losing money on this every year. If it were making money, if it were breaking even, that'd be something that I'd be considered. But I want to make sure that we're being sensitive to some of our folks, especially our city folks that are,
Well, I'll say also that this operates out of a parking fund that we should absolve and fold, if we continue with it, fold into the general fund and make this a general fund expense. And as I pointed out in the memo, there's about $130,000 or so of annual operating costs, including insurance and upkeep and utilities and things like that. But in some general inspection that we need to do so that we can identify any structural deficiencies, those sorts of things. But I mean, that's the expense of operating it. And as I did point out in the memo, we do have, since we have purchased the City Hall property, We have a lot more employees in that building more employees than we have space in the back for parking. So we have assigned some of our City Hall employees to park in that facility because it's not a bad walk to get across the street. So
I mean,
those are items that we'll need to consider as we move forward.
I mean, one of the things, Mr. Andy Postrick, I don't think he's here tonight. He might be watching online. He's shown just the amount of parking that's available downtown. And, I think we ought to be able to work something like that. But I want to be sensitive to those needs. Mayor, can I talk about something else besides A and B?
Go ahead.
I would like Mr. Hoover to come up. Some of these grants that we are authorizing the city to procure, or not procure, that's not the right word, but to authorize to submit an application for, are related to water and sewer. And it's from the state. Can you talk a little, have these been available before? Tell us a little bit about that.
Chris Hoover is our Grants and Government Relations Coordinator.
Good evening. So this is a new grant program that the state has enacted. So it was through Act 812 passed in the state legislature during the last General Assembly. Basically, due to Act 605, there have been multiple municipalities, water providers coming to the state saying, "Hey, we need money," but that's a different pot of money besides just loans. So this is a sole grant program. However, there is only 20 million available for cities of the first and second class. So the total program as a whole has 25 million, but 20 million are reserved for just the pot that we're eligible for.
5 million available for everybody else outside of first and second class?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. And so this is why we're going after it. There's a lot of different things that we have to do. We've had to send in pre-application forms to the Natural Resources Commission. We have to go on the project priority list. So we're doing a lot of different things in order to apply for this. But this just gives us the formal approval to do that.
Well, and we're trying to use every avenue available to us to
Yes, sir.
to alleviate the consent decree as much as we can. SRF, loans, grants, all that kind of stuff. So I think this is really good. Thank you for your awareness of this and moving us forward.
Yes, sir. And I will say, on the state level, and I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but there's just not a lot of grant opportunity available. And, I've been directed by, obviously, City Administrator Dingman and obviously the board to go after grants. And that's what I've been looking for. But, we're in the environment where that on the state level is just, if we were small and rural, we could find all the money in the world. And, I did the USDA, U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Rural Development Department, they have a water and environmental programs page that outlist several programs. And I went through this afternoon and looked at these programs, and, you're not going to qualify unless you're a population of 2,500 and less, 10,000 or less, 50,000 or less. And so,
So do you find that pretty common in terms of when you're looking at grants as it relates to water and sewer?
Yes, sir.
That they are for smaller municipalities?
Yes, sir.
Municipalities less than 100,000?
Yes.
Well, do you find some that are less than 100,000? Because I guess we would apply for that, or we could. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Now there have been the small unique instances. The DSIP grant that the board approved a resolution to apply for, and we submitted the application. We're waiting to hear something, but that's a needle in the haystack.
Okay. So most of these are for small municipalities, at least on the water and sewer side.
Yes, sir. And most of it is state revolving loan funds.
State revolving funds, which are in effect loans.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I will say, technically the city has received some of those state revolving loan funds before. So in FY24, we received the $12 million earmark from Senator John Bozeman for Phase 2A1-1, a portion of Section 2A1-1 of
That's Towson Avenue.
No.
That's the water line.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. But all of those congressionally directed spending and community project funds are come off the top of the state revolving loan funds.
Right.
So,
and this is, maybe Director Morton can give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on this, but when we looked at bonds, when we got the bonds to do the consent decree work, the rates on those were very favorable. maybe even more favorable than SRF funds and things like that. So he's shaking his head yes. So that's good. So I mean, I think we're going in the right direction and trying to get all avenues for resolving our water and our sewer issues. And so I appreciate you here.
Yes, sir. And I want to say, I know there may be questions, well, why aren't we going after a big project, $5 million or $10 million? Well, simply because the state is going to want to spread the love. They want to spread this pot of money around the state. So that's why these projects are $1 million up to $1.5 million.
Yep.
So,
Every little bit counts.
Yes, because if we submit 4 projects and we get considered for 1, that's a win.
Any other comments from the board? Okay. This time we entertain a motion to adopt all consent agenda items. I'm sorry. Okay, do, okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Directors Martin,
Yes.
Rigo,
Yes.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
Yes.
Christina Katsavas,
Yes.
Settle.
Yes.
It's approved, 7 in favor and 0 opposed.
Okay. This time we'll go to the officials forum. I don't have anything this evening. Director Rigo, Director Good, Director Kemp.
Yes, Mayor. Jeff, for administration, I know we talk about entering budget season at some point here in the near future on budget timelines and things of that nature. Would we start that? Are we looking to start that in October? Is that what it's slated for schedule-wise?
Early October, the department reviews we're trying to do those a little bit earlier than we have in the past. And so we intend to, I forgot exactly the date when we have pegged for distributing the proposed budget to the board to start the review. But usually we've started in the past about the middle of October. We've tried to have it out. And I think we're shooting for a couple of weeks earlier than that.
I'd like to make a motion that we have a study session ahead of that timeline for an update on a pay study proposals that are working together for firefighters and police officers.
Second.
And that way we can get ahead of that and even kind of start wrapping our mind around priorities. Obviously, public safety is priority 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we got other priorities that are still priorities. And I'd like to start answering that question. I think that we've already heard that over and over, and so I appreciate that. Thank you for the second settle. Thank you, Director Settle.
Thank you. Director George
Yeah,
Katsavas.
just a couple of things, Mayor Jeff. Let's go to my favorite subject, Parrot Island. I've been hearing from people that they're having record days. Attendance is up. Why aren't they paying their bills? There's vendors that haven't been paid in months.
If there are outstanding,
Why, that shouldn't, why?
if there are outstanding bills due to vendors, I need to know about them, and I'll find out
Well,
why.
Barton Pool, 16,000, it took forever to get their money. This fence guy, 1,000.
But they have been paid at this point. If there are outstanding ones, I need to know about
But
them.
why aren't they paid within a 30-day
They
period?
should be.
Huh?
They should be. There's no excuse to not be. So I need to know if there are any that are outstanding, then I need to know about them.
And then you guarantee they'll get their money.
And I will see
But
that they
see,
get their money.
They shouldn't have to go that far, really. If it's a business, businesses pay their bills every 30 days. I don't understand why they wait 6 months. But, I'm going to go on record and say I'm ready for new management for Parrot Island. I've been suspicious of that place from the day one, and the money is just not adding up. And I'm tired of the taxpayers having to subsidize that place every year. Number 2, the FCRA. Director Martin mentioned last week about the golf course, what's going on with it. It's in the city limits, 119 prime acres. What's our next course of action to get that deeded to us?
That is not a project that we're working on. That FCRA owns that project and have it marketed for sale.
It's in the city limits of Fort Smith, correct?
Yes. But we do not own it.
Then why? We control the zoning, correct?
We do.
So what makes them think they're going to get this rezoned for housing or anything else?
They
other
will
than
have to
golf
come
course?
before this board to get their zoning changed. This board will have to do that.
Because we offered, when Carl was on the board, he offered that we would deed restrict the property for 99 years, keep it a golf course. And they backed out of that deal. So I don't want to see that thing sold. I think it's an amenity for Fort Smith. It's affordable golf. Just like Berengen has their course, we need a course. All those major cities have their own course. Why not? What's wrong with us?
Golf course is an expensive proposition to operate, George.
No, these people that are making big money. But it's something, if you just check into it and see, check with the FCRA and see
And see what?
what their plans are.
Their plans are to market the property for sale.
So, George, just FYI, I am having lunch with Daniel Mann next week.
Good.
And I'll ask some, not that I'm going to be able to do anything, but I'll at least inquire and find out what's going on.
Well, Christina asked last week, said she wanted Daniel Mann to come before the board and talk to us.
Yep.
And he replies, no, but I'll meet you for lunch. That's really professional.
Well, let's meet. Let's at least have discussions and we can talk through it. Not saying I'm going to do anything or Christine will do anything, but let's at least hear them out and share our thoughts and maybe we'll get somewhere.
Well, they've been out there 26 years to sell 6,000 acres of land.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound right to you? Come on. I mean, something's going.
We'll just have a conversation and we'll see what happens.
All right. That's fine. Thank you.
Director Christine Savage.
Well, I will say to piggyback off that, I thought it was very telling that we asked him to come and speak publicly and take questions publicly. And then I assume he reached out to everybody for one-on-one.
I thought I was special.
You're not that special. I didn't think it was appropriate, so I've declined to do that. I think we are the beneficiary of this trust. He has an obligation to be on the record in front of the people that are the beneficiaries of the trust. I mean, really what they've done, and we all know it, they've weaponized the trust against us, and we're receiving no benefit as the beneficiaries. So to me, I thought it was very telling that he refused to do that, as he has continued to refuse, as I've continued to request. And that's not an unreasonable request to ask him to come before this board and speak publicly and take questions, especially in light of the fact that they frequently cancel their meetings. So that's all for
Neil,
me.
they need to be dissolved.
Okay. Thank you.
The governor has to do that.
I know that. I know.
Director Christine Savage, did you have anything else? Okay. Director Settle.
Yeah, I'll add something to this. The state legislative body was the one who made the FCRA. So I think our next move, if Mr. Mann does not want to come visit with us, because I did get an email I did not accept, I think we should talk to our state legislators and see if we can get the state law changed that would take care of that. I think that's the next move. And
Good idea.
to me, I think that's the best move. That all we're asking is to come in public, like we all do. We have to come in and listen to the citizens and talk to us, and there's no difference from that. So I would agree that if we can't get that move, then I think our next move is talk to our state legislators and take care of that that way. The other thing is tonight we did pass 8 items for consent decree. I'd ask the administration if the board's willing to maybe come up with a consent decree, consent agenda option, to where maybe some of the mundane, final approvals, purchase of a property or something like that, something that's very to a dollar, come up with some ideas that give us an option to put some consent decrees on a consent decree, consent agenda option. So it'd be separate from the other consent agenda, but that way we could bundle some things and move the meeting along faster.
Director Neil Martin.
Yeah, so really the only thing that I have is, I wasn't here last week for some of the discussion, and we talked about strategic goals. I think Director Kemp and Settle had talked about moving forward on those specific items that are related to, that contribute to our budget and things like that. But we did have some things on there that were kind of outside of the scope of the board of directors. I still would like to maybe put those in play with the entities that can truly affect those, whether it be the Chamber of Commerce or whoever. So I would like us to not just park those things, but at least get them moving with the right entity that's involved in handling that. So I would encourage us to do that.
I concur with that.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Dingman, you're recognized.
Thank you. The one thing I'd mention, the City Parks and Rec Department is sponsoring the City Play Day this Friday, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Martin Luther King Jr. Park. I also would like to take this opportunity to recognize the passing of Dr. Sandy Sanders, who in her own right was an active and treasured member of the Fort Smith community in general and of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith community for many years. Was also the beloved wife of former Mayor Sandy Sanders. So
Thank you so much. If there's nothing else, at this point, we're going to go into executive session. And we will be discussing the city administrator. And, okay.
She's been working with the tutor for almost 3 years now, but it's just this past year they found something that clicked.
Nice.
And then it's just taken off.
That's
so
really cool.
I was proud of her.
Absolutely.
We're going to reconvene. And at this time, I will open the floor for a motion.
Sure, Mayor, I'll do it. I'd like to make a motion to go to contract negotiations with Colin Bizinger and our HR department to hire Jeff Dingman as the city administrator.
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay. There are comments, Madam Clerk? Please call the roll.
Directors Rego,
No.
Good,
Yes.
Kemp,
Yes.
George Katsavas.
No.
Christina Katsavas,
No,
Settle,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 in favor and 3 opposed.
Okay, thank you. If there are no further business,
Motion to adjourn, Mayor.
thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.